Hi. If you find this content useful, please support my channel on Patreon. Become a member of the family and get yourself the offered rewards. You find the link in the description. Okay, let's dive into the final episode of our little song part. I like to add the kick as main rhythmic element. Let's grab a sampler. And search for a kick sample I can use. I go with a groove kick 11 here. I place the pattern clip at the start of bar 37 and make it 8 bars long. A simple 4 on the floor rhythm and duplicating to the remaining 7 bars. The kick shall play in the whole second part of the song. For the last 4 bars though, I like to use it like a snare roll to lead into the drop. How to create this kick roll is really just a matter of taste, respectively your imagination. To increase the tension, it's often a good idea to increase the speed over time. So I delete the last 2 bars and go with 16ths instead. A few variations. Let's go even faster with some 30 seconds. And some gaps at the end. There's just a little problem where these FX hits appear. As I already got a reverb kick in them, I don't want to double the kicks up. The reverb kick has in this case priority, means the normal kick has to give way. Same at all places where they play together. Just the second one in my example here. Let's sculpt the kick a bit with an EQ. The most important frequencies are the lower and the higher ones. The lower frequencies define the body of the kick, while the higher frequencies pronounce the attack and let the kick cut better through the mix. The mid-range though contains often too much boxiness, which I like to reduce. As now the bass doesn't play alone in the low frequencies, I need to sidechain compress it to the kick now. Same for the reverb kick in my FX. I am deliberately going down this road here to show one of the problem areas with routing in Patcher. As you can see now by making a send to the bass channel from a track that is placed before the other, Patcher replaced the routing. Now the FX channel is already routed to the sidechain input of the limiter instead of the kick, which is not activated now. This is a very annoying behavior, which happens too if you change the order of the tracks in the mixer, but hopefully will improve someday. For the moment, there is no way around other than trying to do the placement of the mixer tracks and routing to patcher all together whenever possible, instead of first one and then the other. I changed the routing back to how it was before. The signal which comes from the FX track contains as well the crash, which I don't want to use as sidechain trigger. I insert an EQ before the limiter and filter out all high frequencies. Now the bass gets ducked by both signals, the kick and the reverb kick. I don't want to have the kick playing full all the time. I used the EQ I already got to add some automation. I want to open the low-pass filter over time and set it to a point I like to start with. Additionally, I want to automate the volume too. I set the starting point to a value where the kick is barely noticeable anymore. I set the range for the automation and create clips for the cutoff frequency of my low pass and the volume fader. The first 8 bars, the low pass shall stay closed. I insert a note by holding Shift to create the point without changing the value. Toward the end, it shall open the filter more and more. The volume shall increase all of the time. Full volume, when automating the slider of PEQ2, is at 50%. Easier to type in the value. I give it a negative slope though, that it starts slowly and getting faster to the end. So let's have a look what we've done so far. Okay, I like the interplay with the vocals. The more words she sings, the less noticeable is the kick because of being heavily filtered out. Towards the end though, as more as she goes over into ad-libs, the kick comes in more and more. One thing I don't like though is that it gets quite boomy at the end with the kickroll. I set a range just for the last 4 bars and like to bring in the high-pass filter a bit more. Perhaps a little less? Perfect. The rising effect, though, is still a bit weak even for this simple example. Please concentrate on the strings. We have already a little pitch riser here, but I like to have this effect much stronger during the fill. Let's go one octave up now and make the slide note longer. Better, but I want more. That's what I wanted. Time to work a bit on the master. As I said before, this is a simple example to first start in the right direction. For a real-world example, there would happen a lot more in these 64 bars to catch the listener's interest. Because of that, I will not go through the whole mastering example, just a bit of loudness maximizing and a basic view on Maximus. First, some stereo processing. The included controls in Maximus, which are the same as in the mixer tracks, are 100% mono-compatible, so don't hesitate to use them. Because of the nature of sound, there is absolutely no need for having any stereo information in the low end. I merge it 100% to mono. The more it goes up in frequencies, the more stereo makes sense. I leave the mid-band untouched, but set the high band a bit higher.
In the darkness, you shine for me.
Some saturation, and I slowly start to increase the levels of the master band, especially the post gain, which drives the signal into the saturation instead of the compressor curve. In the mid-band, there happens really a lot with the vocals, the acids and many more. I set the compression curve to more or less -9 dB and drive the signal a bit more into the compressor. To compensate the level, I reduce the post gain a bit. Less aggressive timing and a bit more high-end. Before and after. That's it. Quick and easy, and shall be enough for a first look into this topic. As already said, this is far from being complete, but perhaps gave some basic insight into the process and the thoughts behind. I hope you can make use out of the one or the other information and improve your own work. For my €10 supporters, I will now save beside the project file all the presets for instruments and effects I have created here. All categorized that you can simply extract them to your user library, and they will show up in the preset managers of the plugins. See you soon, and thank you for watching.